technological universities and the second largest university in Ireland. We're a leader in many disciplines. You've heard some of the kind of STEM areas, but business, media, culinary arts, creative and performing arts. So quite a broad kind of array of disciplines and of programs offered at TU Dublin. We're very proud of the fact that we've been first in Dublin for graduate employment or employability for the last 2 years in a row, as benchmarked by our Higher Education Authority. And we're also first in Europe for sustainability in higher education. So a lot of work going on in that area. You've just heard from colleagues in our Faculty of Computing, Digital and Data there that you can see in the kind of purple colour. That's one of 5 faculties within TU Dublin. And you can see the Faculty of Business in green there. So 6 schools, including a graduate business school that kind of sits across working with each of the discipline schools. So quite a large university in many ways, 28,500 students this year, or thereabouts, over 7,000 graduates each year. We have about 150,000 kind of active graduates around the world as part of our alumni network. So leaders in every industry, which I suppose represents the breadth of what we do. So all sorts of, from business leaders to people in the creative and performing arts and professional sports people, and even a member of U2. We have 5 campuses, so 4 of those campuses are on show here. So on the left of the screen, you'll see our Blanchardstown campus in the top left, and that's in kind of northwest Dublin. And our Tala campus down in the bottom left, which is in southwest Dublin. Angel Street on the top right is where I am based, where a lot of our postgraduate business programs is based, which is in the city centre. And Bolton Street on the bottom right is in the north side of the city centre. Our 5th campus is our new Grangegorman campus, which this shot is a little bit outdated. There's been a fair bit of work on our campus since this was taken, a number of new buildings. But you can see there it's about a 74-acre site in the centre of the city. You can see out to Dublin Bay and so on at the top of that photo. You'll see the Faculty of Computing, Digital and Data. Some of their operations are based in the kind of largest building you can see there in the middle. And towards the bottom of the photo, we've just built a new academic hub for our central library and student support. So a really exciting kind of time for TU Dublin. But to say that, we have beautiful new buildings that have been just developed on both our Blanchardstown and Tala campuses as well. So we're investing in all of our campuses. And you can see our Bolton Street campus to the north of Grangegorman, and our Angel Street campus where the arrow is just to the east there. There's some imagery of our Grangegorman campus. I suppose it's a mixture of kind of old and new, some buildings dating back as far back as 1814, and some that are just about to open, so brand new as of 2026. Just a little bit about the Faculty of Business, and then I'm going to kind of give you an overview of our postgraduate programs. But just to give you a sense of the ethos that we have in terms of delivering our program and our model of education, and it'll be very clearly aligned with what you've heard from our colleagues in our other faculty in terms of the kind of practice-based and industry-engaged nature of what we do. So we're one of the largest business faculties. We educate over 6,000 business students, probably about 6,500 this academic year. And we have 300 faculty, members of faculty. So we kind of operate from school leavers all the way up to senior executives in organizations. So we have a breadth of programs right up, and from undergraduate all the way up to postgraduate at level 10. PhD, I should say, at level 10. Our model is experiential and career-focused learning. As I mentioned, our success with our graduates, that a lot of that comes about for our faculty and for our other faculties because of how engaged we are with industry. We really know what industry are looking for in our graduates. Our industry partners help us design programs. They help us deliver programs. They provide, I suppose, opportunities for our students to engage with exciting work-based projects, exciting events and conferences, and so on. So our students really leave with, I suppose, a sense of confidence in their own skill set. And we leverage those industry partnerships to really stay on top of evolving skills needs. So you've heard a little bit about AI and cyber and some of those other areas. They're moving very quickly. So it's very important for us to stay in close contact with our partners in industry. We are kind of ranked in the top 2% of global business schools with our AMBA accreditation, which is for our executive MBA, but takes a look at our entire faculty of business and makes sure that we're aligned to global quality standards. We welcome students from over 85 different countries, so a very international student profile, and we engage those students with each other and with students in other universities around the world in a multitude of different ways, as well as engaging them with international companies, some of which the previous speakers have mentioned, that are based in the Dublin ecosystem or further afield within Ireland. We're home to one of the largest cohorts of postgraduate research students in Ireland. So a lot of students studying PhDs with us, and a lot of our students will actually stay on, or many of them will, after their master's degree and actually study for a postgraduate research, so an MPhil or a PhD. And partnership engagement is absolutely at the heart of what we all do in TU Dublin. It's part of our strategy, it's part of our DNA. Within the Faculty of Business, we connect with over 1,000 different organizations each year and over 100 different international university partners. So we do a lot of work in partnering with organizations, with not-for-profits, with international universities, and so on. This is just a sample of some of the organizations that we work with on a regular basis, developing out customized educational programs for their staff. And you'll notice many of the ones mostly in the middle, which are kind of global brands. In terms of our offering then in postgraduate in master's degree programs and postgraduate diploma programs, these are our full-time offerings. So 11 full-time programs running at present. And we can break them down into courses for business graduates, so people that have studied business before at an undergraduate level, and then also bespoke programs for people that have not studied business before and that are looking for a conversion offering. We also collaborate with our other faculties in many areas, and Christina will talk to you a little bit about this, but one of the exciting new areas that we're collaborating on is the Masters in Cybersecurity Management, which will hopefully launch later this year. So really interesting things kind of happening within that landscape. And if we look at these programs, you'll see there's probably 4 kind of categories, if you like, of programs. So we have management programs. We have one for business deepening, a strategic management program. We have one that's open to graduates from non-business backgrounds, and that's a new MSc management that actually only launched earlier this year. We have advertising, marketing, and digital marketing. Again, 3 very strong programs there, offering out options again in digital and content marketing for business graduates, and MSc in advertising and creativity, which is open to graduates from a variety of disciplines. And the students on both of those programs actually work together a lot in our content creation suite, for example, here that we have in Angel Street, developing out content for advertising and digital marketing campaigns, working on live industry challenges that our marketing agencies in Dublin or some of our other organizational partners will actually set these challenges for our students. And then we have an MSc marketing, which is for non-business graduates who want to build a career in marketing. I should have mentioned that the MSc in digital and content and the MSc in advertising and creativity both have internships or work placement modules built into those programs. Accountancy and finance is the 3rd category. We have 3 programs in that category. A postgraduate diploma in accounting, which is open to non-accounting graduates, so people that have studied maybe engineering or the arts or other areas. And then an MBS in Accounting International. And that's for students who have studied accounting as part of their degree, but again, want to then specialize and increase exemptions in terms of from professional bodies. And then the MSc Finance, which requires some level of finance study at an undergraduate level. And if you have queries around some of these things or where you might sit in terms of your eligibility based on what you've studied before, you can pop some of those queries into the Q&A, but you can also follow up with us afterwards. We'll give you contact details and help you kind of navigate that and get a better clarity. And then the fourth and final category, what we call kind of other specialists. So we have programs in technology and innovation management, largely catering for graduates of STEM undergraduate programs, so science, technology, engineering, and mathematics, and MSc in logistics and supply chain management. And again, that's open to applicants from a wide variety of disciplines, and one of our most popular programs in the faculty. A little bit about Ireland just to finish. So Ireland is a very beautiful small island, obviously on the edge of the Atlantic. We're known for our scenery and for our arts and poetry and literature and so on. But in fact, we're actually a real powerhouse in terms of the economy and in terms of our industry employment opportunities. So a lot of what attracts people to Ireland is that we have a 2-year stay back visa for graduates, and that's something that our graduates over the years can avail of and have availed of to much success, finding great employment opportunities across Dublin and the wider island. Ireland is a small island, so whilst you might come to study in Dublin, many people will seek then employment either in Dublin or outside of Dublin afterwards. Our practice-based education model and our partnership with employers allows our students throughout their studies to build some of those links and gives them a very strong marketable CV upon graduation, with some very strong initiatives and quite concrete examples of skills attainment throughout their studies. And we also have excellent career support, so including career coaching, career development workshops, annual careers fairs that are attended by hundreds of different employers as well, just for TU Dublin students. There are the national careers fairs as well that are held for students from all of the universities, but our careers team do a wonderful job of bringing the employers on campus, holding a whole range of careers fairs. And they're here to hire people. They have live job opportunities, and our students do really well as a result. And just finally then, Ireland by numbers. So we're home to 10 of the top 10 technology companies in the world, 9 of the top 10 pharmaceutical organizations, very strong in medical devices and med tech, and very strong in financial services as well, and with a growing and very strong fintech sector as well. So really strong employment opportunities, a great place to study, a great place to live, and we hope you will consider it as part of your journey. If you want more information on our programs, all of the information is on our TU Dublin Graduate Business School website. It's just tudublin.ie/GBS, and we'll pop that link in the chat function. But each of our programs then will showcase testimonials from students that have studied with us from around the world, and you get a sense of the types of roles that they go into afterwards. So our graduates tend to do very well. Okay, that's all for me. So I'm going to pass back to Jill, who might introduce our next speaker.
Hi, everybody. So next we have Dr. Katrina Thorpe, and she's Head of Informatics and Cybersecurity.
Thanks, Jill. Hi, everyone. Can you see my slides?
Yes.
Yeah, we can see them.
Oh, yep. Great. Okay, so thanks for the introduction. So I am Head of Discipline of Cybersecurity in the School of Informatics and Cybersecurity, and that is based on the Blanchardstown campus. So Colin mentioned that we had a few big campuses, and Blanchardstown is the one that's in West Dublin, so not too far from the city centre, and it is in a lovely campus, lots of green areas, a very friendly environment, and some really nice, very modern buildings. So it's a great campus, and that really is where it's the home of cybersecurity. So today I'm going to tell you about two master programs that we have in cybersecurity. One of them is a very mature master's. It's in applied cybersecurity, so very technical, and it's a program that we have been running and improving for over 15 years. So it is a very mature, well-established master's, and we have graduates of that master's working throughout Ireland in many of the big companies. So I'm going to tell you about that. And then I'm also going to tell you about a newer program, which is the Masters in Cybersecurity Management, which Colin referred to earlier on. And that is a brand new program and really interesting program because it's a collaboration between ourselves and the Faculty of Business. So I'll start with the Masters in Applied Cybersecurity. It's very practice focused. Okay, so it's applied. We're really trying to give you the knowledge and teach you the skills that you're going to need to actually do a cybersecurity job when you finish with us. So we combine hands-on technical training, so lots and lots of time in the labs and doing practical work with very strong theoretical foundations. And this program is really designed for level 8 technology graduates. So the minimum entry requirements would be a level 8 in computer science or computer engineering or something along that line, because it is a very technical master's. So really it's designed for people who are seeking advanced industry relevant cybersecurity skills. So maybe you have a background in computer science or computer engineering, but you want to specialize and move into cybersecurity, this would be the master's for you. So just generally the structure of both of our masters is that there's a taught element of it. So we cover lots of modules, usually 60 to 70 credits of modules, taught modules where you'd have lectures and labs, and then 20 to 30 credits of research where you'd have a significant piece of research that you would have to do. It's 1 calendar year. So you start in September and you finish at the end of August. So 1 calendar year, and the research piece would be done during the summer. So the Applied Cybersecurity Masters, really what we're trying to do is develop graduates with advanced practical cybersecurity skills, but you would be supported by strong theory. And this program really addresses the industry demand that's out there. We're preparing you to, detect, to analyze, to respond to evolving cyber threats. And you'll be using real world tools and techniques, data sets that are realistic and so on. So what we're trying to do with this program is to produce highly skilled cybersecurity practitioners, people who are going to go out into industry and work in those cybersecurity roles, things like SOC analysts, things like incident responder, forensic analyst, and so on. So very hands-on technical stuff. You're going to be equipped to operate effectively in those technical roles, but you'll also develop things like independent learning and applied research capability, because there is a significant research project that you will have to complete as well. So as Colin alluded to earlier on, employability is very important to us, and it is central to this program. So in terms of career pathways, there's a strong global demand for applied cybersecurity professionals. There are millions of unfilled roles worldwide. Recent estimates are around 4 million worldwide, but that would be in the order of thousands, like 3,000-ish in Ireland and tens of thousands in Europe. So lots of opportunities for graduates with these skills. So our program would provide a clear pathway into those technical cybersecurity careers, and even lead you on to further professional specialization. We have a big emphasis on the practical side of it, on the applied nature of it. So we're looking at real problems, real types of attacks, real systems, real tools. We also put a lot of emphasis into kind of gamification. So our students will engage in capture the flag activities. We actually, we run one of the biggest capture the flag competitions in the world. It's called 0 Days, and it was actually only held last weekend in our big national stadium, Crow Park, and there was over 600 participants in that. So it's a huge event that we run annually, and a lot of our students would participate in it, but students from all over the country actually, and even international teams. So it's a huge event that we run, and we really we encourage students to get involved in these types of things. We also do things like industry guest lectures. We bring practitioners in. You know, we had a bug bounty specialist in not so long ago who gave a talk to our students. We also bring students on field trips, so bring them off to industry premises, so where they'll see a SOC in action and so on. And then we also, the research projects would typically be very applied research projects. So graduates of this program would go into technical roles, so things like SOC analyst, ethical hacker, incident response analyst, security consultant, and they would really focus on hands-on things, threat detection, testing, response, and so on. Graduates can work across a wide range of sectors. So, you know, cybersecurity really is a concern for everyone. So it is in demand across sectors. So technology sector, of course, but also financial services, healthcare, government, critical infrastructure, professional services, and, you know, the more kind of dedicated cybersecurity service providers. So you learn all the technical stuff, you will gain a lot of expertise, but you'll also develop really important transferable skills. So things like problem solving, analytical thinking, research methods, technical reporting, teamwork, and all of those things will support you in a long-term career progression in cybersecurity. So our graduates, they consistently highlight the strong alignment between the program content and industry skills and what industry needs. They also talk about the value of industry engagement and the applied learning experiences that they received. So if you are interested, sorry, before I move on, if you're interested in this program, the QR link or the QR code is there on the slide, and that will bring you to that program page, but I'll also post the link directly into the Q&A when I'm finished talking. And on that page, you'll see all the information about the content. We have electives, so you do get choice in what you want to specialize in, which is great. We also, it gives you all the details about the modules and so on. So if you're interested, you can have a look at that. And then if you have any questions, Rohit Verma is our program coordinator for that program. Okay, so the next program that I'm going to talk about is our Masters in Cybersecurity Management, and this is brand new. It does have a similar structure to the more technical Masters in that it has the 70 credits of taught modules and the 20 credits of research. It also has electives built in, but the really interesting thing about this is it's a collaboration between cybersecurity or the Faculty of Computing, Digital and Data, which is where our school is, and the Faculty of Business. So you're learning from the cyber experts and you're learning from the management experts. So it really is a unique program in that sense. So again, it's practice focused. It's a level 9, it's a master's in cybersecurity management. So we're combining the core cybersecurity knowledge with strong management, leadership and strategic foundations. So this program will be designed for level 8 graduates from STEM in general. So it's not as narrow as the other masters. It is broader. So we'll accept people from any science, technology, engineering or maths, and also business. So we actually have 2 business streams. So if you're coming in with a business background, you can do more advanced business stream. But if you're coming in with a technical or a science background, you start off on a more kind of foundational business stream. And really this program is for people who want to move into cybersecurity leadership roles. And there is a global demand for those as well. So it's not somebody who wants to go in and do a cybersecurity job or sit and do SOC analysis or forensic. It's for the people who want to go in and manage the teams that do that. So somebody that has maybe a few years of experience in industry and is looking to move into management. So the program will give you all the strategic, managerial, and technical expertise that you need to manage cyber risk in an organization. You learn how to design and implement security frameworks, you lead cybersecurity initiatives, respond to evolving threats across different organizational contexts. Really what we're trying to do with this program is to prepare you to lead and manage the cybersecurity functions. So you'll develop the ability to align the cybersecurity with the business objectives, the regulatory requirements, and the other organizational strategy, while also having a strong understanding of the technical risk. So again, employability is very important to us. Graduates would progress into cybersecurity management and leadership roles, things like a cybersecurity manager, a SOC manager, incident response manager, cyber risk manager, or a GRC lead. Also maybe support people going into consultancy or advisory paths as well. So these roles exist across multiple sectors, similar to the previous program I talked about. So technology, financial, healthcare, government, critical infrastructure, and so on. And really, it just reflects the fact that cyber risk is a core organizational issue across all industries. So alongside the technical knowledge, you'll develop key management and leadership skills, risk assessment, strategic decision-making, incident and crisis management, governance and compliance, communication, teamwork, and project management. So you'll also benefit from strong industry engagement through the applied projects. We'll present you with real world scenarios, and there is that collaboration between the cybersecurity and the management faculty. So your learning will be grounded in the real organizational challenges rather than just theory. So some advantages of the program is that there's a strong management focus, it's applied learning, it's aligned with the industry needs. It's a new program. Part of our validation is to consult with industry stakeholders. It is brand new, so it's very much meets the needs that are there now. We do have small class sizes, so Colin mentioned this earlier on. So our lectures might have, 40 to 60 in them, but the labs are very much limited to 20. So you have a lot of face time with your academic leader and a lot of opportunities to ask questions and to solve problems and so on. So yeah, this program is designed for people who want to move beyond just purely technical roles and they want to move into that decision-making and leadership position. So the course page is, the QR code for the course page is there. If you go onto the website, you'll see all of the information about this program, the modules that are there, and the elective options that are there and how to apply. Any questions, you can also contact the program coordinator, who is Rohit Verma. And that's it from me.
Great. Thank you, Christina.
Thanks.
Next we're going to have, Musfira Jelani, and she's a lecturer in enterprise computing and digital transformation.
Sorry. Thanks, Jill. Can you see my slides?
Yeah, we can see your slides. Just your volume's a bit low.
Okay, so let me know if you still cannot hear me.
Perfect.
Yeah, sorry, so my device is a bit slow to pick up my volume. Anyway, thanks everyone. So my name is Musfira Jelani and I'm a lecturer based in the School of Enterprise Computing and Digital Transformation, which is another campus, which is based in a campus called Tala, and we are actually in south of Dublin. So from our campus, you can actually get the views of Dublin mountains. It's a beautiful campus with beautiful views. So I'll be talking about 3 of our programs. The first program I have on the screen for you is MSc in Human-Centered Artificial Intelligence. And this program, so this is really one of our flagship programs, and the key motivation behind this program is that AI is no longer just in labs or industries, but AI is very much part of our society. So we want to teach AI skills, but in a human-centered way. And so as you can see on the slide, the way we teach this program is we have 3 focus themes. We teach you classical machine learning, we teach you deep learning. We also teach you future AI methods like generative AI and stuff like that. But with all of these themes, the key idea is that ethics is always embedded in all of our teaching. So when we teach you something about data analytics, data preprocessing, or model development, we don't just teach you those models or those data analysis pipelines. We also teach you how can bias creep into data collection, bias creep into data preprocessing, bias can creep into model development, model deployment, and things like that, and how can we manage that. So if you do this program, you will learn about all the technical details of AI development, but you'll also learn about things like bias, fairness, transparency, explainability, and human control in AI pipelines, how to design that. And so it's a 60 credits taught program. So there are 60 credits which are taught, and then there's 30 credits, which is the research module where you do a research thesis. And I'll come back to research thesis in a minute, but I also want to highlight that, one very important aspect of this program is that it's developed by a consortium, an EU consortium called Human-Centered Artificial Intelligence Masters. And so this program runs in parallel in 4 universities initially, and now we have expanded to 8 universities. So we have, this program is conceived by people based in Utrecht, Naples, Germany. So we have all of these partner universities here. So yeah, Budapest. And so currently we have 8 partner universities and 5 SMEs. And we are just expanding this program into Panorama, which is another evolution of human-centered AI. Anyway, so I mentioned about the thesis component, and the key idea is that once every year for a week, all our consortium members get together, and all our students from all the different universities, we get together in one of the partner locations. Sometimes it's Dublin, sometimes it's Budapest or Utrecht or Naples or any of those locations. And so we get together, and for 1 week it's the thesis ideation stage. So there are thesis ideas that may come from any of our partner university, any of the SMEs who are part of our consortium, and students get to choose which thesis they want to work on, and they get feedback from all of these different people that we have on board. And so that's one very interesting aspect, and all of our students they really like that aspect of the program. And some of the career pathways that this program offers is you can be an AI developer, like a traditional AI developer, but there is, newer roles which are like ethical AI developers. And obviously you can be an AI researcher and AI officials, AI analysts. So here are some of the testimonials from some of our students. So, they really found the program interesting. And as you can see, the program created great opportunities for them. They enjoyed the dual approach of technical knowledge and ethical and regulatory background. And, they work in lots of different organizations. So the QR code for the program is on the slide. And myself and Rajesh Jaswal, we look after this program. So if you have any queries, you can always drop us an email. Okay, so I'll then move to our second program, which is MSc in Sustainable Cloud Computing. And this program was really conceived as a response to industry demand, and it's one of our newer programs. And the focus in this program is on financial operations and sustainable cloud. And some of the modules we teach in this program are cloud architecture, digital technology strategy, IT infrastructure and automation, cloud native, human and organizational issues, sustainable data engineering and AI operations. And then again, in third semester, you do a research thesis. So if you are interested in this program, you can contact my colleague, David White, and the QR code is on the screen. And again, this program, the defining aspect of this program is that it's actually developed very much in consultations with our industry partners, as you can see. Different industry partners came together and designed this program. And we are very best placed, like School of Enterprise Computing and Digital Transformation is very best placed to offer this program, because we are very lucky to have some as member of our faculty, we are very lucky to have some world leaders in cloud computing skills. So, and we have been organizing different cloud computing competitions since 2018, I believe. Okay, so the last program is MSc in Computing with DevOps. And the main idea of this program is that we do not just want to give you technical knowledge needed for software delivery processes, but we also want to give you the organizational context. So the business and human factors that are involved and that you should be aware of, for modern software delivery processes. The modules we teach you in this program are business technology strategy, IT infrastructure automation, continuous software delivery, human and organizational issues, enterprise architecture and deployment. And again, as part of this program, you have a research thesis component, which you do in close quarters with industry supervisions. And we do organize guest lectures and things like that. And some of the career pathways that this program offers are DevOps engineer, ICT strategy management, leading teams, and different roles in the ICT sector. Okay, and here are some of the testimonials. So the course gave me an end-to-end technical DevOps skill set combined with a business focus that I can use immediately in my daily work. There are a lot of technologies to consider for DevOps, and the course has helped me realize not only which ones are the most useful for my business, but also that DevOps is as much about people as it is about technology. So yeah, thank you for that. Okay.
Great, thank you, Ms. Vera. And so next we have Andrea from Computing Science.
Hi, everybody. Just get my slides there. Can you see that okay?
Yeah, your slides are there.
Yeah, perfect. Thank you. Okay, as they said, my name is Andrea Curley. I work in the School of Computer Science. We're in Grange Gorman in the new campus right in the centre of Dublin, and it's an absolute pleasure. I'm going to talk about two MScs here. I've worked with the postgraduate programs probably for about 15 years at this stage, and the first one I'm going to talk about here is actually new, so it's just run for the first time this year, and it's the MSc in Data Analytics, and obviously it's a level 9, and the expectation is that you would have a level 8 degree coming into this. So it's a 1-year program with 60 taught modules and 30 credits of project. The project, or the preparation for the project, would begin in the second semester and would be completed in the summer. So it literally is 1 calendar year. So I suppose the reason for this was, based on, that data analytics is consistently getting more and more important. No matter, what we've thought throughout the years, it still keeps strengthening. So we wanted to develop a program that wasn't just about data science, which is our other degree, but also how it applies to different domains. So the aim was to develop an industry-ready graduates who can analyze data, generate insight, and apply analytics techniques ethically and effectively to support real world decision making. So I suppose it's to look at data and then to be able to put it in a way that we can tell a story and then gain insights from it. Colin put a picture up earlier of Paul McGinley, who was captain of the Ryder Cup, and he speaks in some podcasts really interestingly about how he used data analytics, and his whole point was, we've got all of these numbers and data, but actually what does it mean? Just give me one slide, just give me a few sentences on what it means. And that's really in one sentence what this program is about, putting meaning on all the data that we have. So its main objectives are to address a growing national and international skills needed in data analytics, enable graduates to apply these skills ethically, responsibly and effectively, and to provide a flexible framework for general analytics and discipline-specific specialisms. So I suppose this differs particularly with the fact that we do it with sports and we do it with healthcare for the moment, and that will probably expand from there, but also that it applies, students can apply as a conversion student and also as a non-conversion student. So as a non-conversion student, the student would expect it to be a computer science or come from some particular area like that. However, for a non-conversion, the person can come from different areas, and we cater for both. So we support students from diverse academic backgrounds to develop the skills required for employment and career progression in data analytics. As in all TU Dublin courses, there's a strong emphasis on employability. And as this is a new one, there's been a lot of very recent research done on it. So the curriculum is very much aligned with industry needs. It's very practical, hands-on analytics experience using the current tools and techniques that are being used in industry. So the students are ready to hit the ground running when they graduate. Focus on tools and techniques. It's very project-based, so there's no exams at the end of any of these modules. So it's all about working with these tools, solving a problem, being given a problem, and trying to understand what we can get from that. Huge amount of industries hiring from technology, finance. So it depends what stream you take. If you take the healthcare stream or the sports stream, general marketing, business enterprise, and the public sector. And the roles that you would likely get from that would be data business intelligent analyst, data analytics engineer, data quality analyst, data scientists, and data business analytics consultants. So just to highlight, there's 3 specialist pathways. There's the general data analytics, and there's a variety of options that students have in their very, data science things, from, deep learning, programming for big data and that kind of stuff. There's the sports analytics. So we're looking at analytics, but in the sports area. Precision analytics, which is for students with suitable biology or healthcare backgrounds. And as I mentioned, it's accessible for both those from a computing background or a non-computing background. Why would students choose this course? It's a very clear pathway into data analytics. It's very practical and career focused. As I said, very, very new research into it. It's very applied, using all the tools that are out there, accessible for students from a non-computing background as well. The programme chairperson is Deirdre Lawless, if you want to contact her for more information, and the QR code is the TU Dublin website on this programme. So the MSc in Computer Science TU 059, so this is almost 20 years old at this stage, and obviously has changed guises in many ways throughout the years. This is non-conversion. So this is aimed at students who have a computer science degree or something like that. It is broken down into 2 streams, data science and advanced software development. And I said, I've been involved in this for about 15 years, and they have changed dramatically, both streams. We keep up on stuff all the time, so it's very up to date. We have great industry partnerships, so we're consistently in contact with them, as well as using people as guest speakers and so forth. So the main programme objective is to build expertise in key growth areas, and they are changing all the time, to provide experience of selected leading edge topics, methodologies, and technologies within computing, whether it be data science or advanced software development, to impart a sound knowledge and understanding of the general principles and knowledge to enable students to apply these technical skills. So again, what TU Dublin is best at is, that students come out being able to apply the tools, the techniques, and that they're ready for industry, and to prepare students for advanced cutting-edge project work in their specialism. As I said, advanced software development aims to provide graduates with knowledge and skills to develop the complex software solutions that organisations need to compete in the emerging global digital economy, and this has changed and continues to change. However, this stream continues to be successful, particularly among international students. Data science was the difference between the data science here and the data analytics. There are options to take similar modules, but it is more technical, goes deeper into the types of algorithms around AI and machine learning. So there's, they can overlap a bit, but if you're more technical and possibly want to get into, code intensive roles, you may go for this data science stream over the data analytics. Some of the pathways for advanced software development: software developer, software engineer, test engineer. For data science, data scientist, data analyst, data architecture. As I said, maybe more into the machine learning and artificial intelligence. In this course, we have, it's both full-time, part-time. Full-time is usually students who have just graduated, international students. Part-time is often students who are working and are doing it over a longer period of time. There are some testimonials for this course, and again, there's two streams: advanced software development and data science. The QR codes there are on the TU Dublin website. I also have a link which gives you a much more comprehensive idea of the of both of these streams, and I'll pop that in the chat. I think that's it for me. Thank you.
That's great. Thank you very much, everybody. If anybody has any questions they'd like to ask our panel, now's the time, and we'll answer them as promptly as we can. There was one there from Emmanuel, and he works as a designer and a digital artist and has a basic intermediate in IT knowledge. He's looking to transition into more tech-related fields. Which courses do you think it can be explored with his knowledge and skill level? Anybody wants to take that?
I think some of our colleagues in digital data probably might be better placed, but it really depends, I suppose. More tech-related fields is probably a broad kind of space. Maybe Emmanuel, if you could be a little bit more specific on that one, if possible. Obviously, cyber's probably quite different to AI, so.
So we've an option for non-conversion, but it depends. Is it data analytics that you're interested in? And if it is, then there is an option for somebody like yourself. So once there's a conversion option, then, if it's an area you're interested in, you will be considered.
Likewise, so the cybersecurity management program might consider people with a background like that. It would depend on the structure and the content of the program, but definitely not the applied cybersecurity, because you wouldn't meet the minimum eligibility requirements for that. But potentially the cybersecurity management program.
Yeah, so he came back. He's courses with little or no coding involved. He doesn't have any background.
So cybersecurity management is looking at the softer side. It's covering the theory, not very technical, so definitely no coding required. I hope, depending on the electives they choose. So they can choose to do a more technical elective, but as a core, there's no coding required.
Maybe I can add something here.
Sure.
There's something we do not currently offer, but there's a program that we are in the process of development as part of our Human-Centered AI and Panorama Consortium, and it's a program where AI for people with backgrounds in media and culture, like people with no technical background and they want to upgrade themselves for AI and then do a thesis, and it actually says that you don't need to have coding knowledge. So, but it's a program we don't yet offer, but you could look for it like any year down the line. So
Perfect. And then there's another question related to that. Just in the Human-Centered AI program, can it also apply to health tech?
Yeah, very much. So so you do 60 credits of taught. It's like 60 taught credits, but then there's 30 credits, which is very much you do a thesis in the area you like, and lots of our students do it in health related fields. And the reason they're able to do that is because we have partnerships with Tata University Hospital. So we have quite a few students who do a very good project with them. And some of our consortium SMEs, they are from health domain. So there's a one based in Dublin and another in Italy. So there are quite a few projects in health related domains. So yeah.
Great. And then just one for cybersecurity. Does TW offer internship in tech industries for applied cybersecurity?
No, we don't at master's level because obviously the structure of the program, it's a very condensed and intensive program. So there is no time for an internship within that calendar year. You're very busy doing your taught and research components. So we don't. What I would say is that we're well known in the industry for producing highly skilled graduates. So sometimes we would get people approach us to say, look, we have this opportunity, can you recommend or can you share? So it happens on an informal basis, but it's not part of the program.
Great. Okay. So we have another one in from Gibno. I have a first degree in home economics. Can I run an MSc in supply chain and logistic management?
Yes, so the MSc Supply Chain and Logistics is a conversion program. So we do consider applicants if they meet the minimum entry requirement of level 822. That we do consider everybody on merit and that look at your transcripts, what you've covered, and your background. So you would be eligible for a place. Yeah.
Brilliant. And there's another one in. Yeah, thanks, Pamela. I've studied material engineering as my first degree. I have worked as a software engineer for about 4 years. I want to get a degree that backs up the experience very related to building software, as with some DevOps. So I have a more holistic view of development process. Which degree would be appropriate for this?
Certainly our advanced software. Oh, sorry, yeah.
You can do MSc
There's
in
two.
DevOps, I would say.
Yeah, I would say we've advanced software development, so they'd probably be the two that you would consider there. The thing is, you for us, you need a degree in computer science, but actually sometimes if you put experience with it, we can we allow students in. I'm going to have to leave, Jill. Apologies.
No problem, Ajay. Thanks very much. Thanks, everybody. There's just one more question, maybe for Human-Centered AI program. He has a BEng in computing engineering, strong technical skills such as Python, and he wants to get deep into AI. Is the Human-Centered AI his best spot?
I would say so. Yeah, very much.
Yeah. And then, sorry, there's no Daniel. There's no scholarships for in general for cybersecurity at the moment. Okay, that's everything. Thanks, everybody. That's all the questions. And thanks very much for participating. Thanks very much. Bye.
Thanks all.
Thank you. Bye.